So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at some review. So we're going to look at the Cartesian plane, often called the XY coordinate system. So basically the Cartesian plane is an X and Y axis. They are perpendicular to each other, and they're separated into 4 quadrants. And the quadrants are labeled as it says there, 1, 2, 3, 4, using Roman numerals and working your way counterclockwise. So we would start at 1 and we would work our way counterclockwise to 4 for the quadrants. That should be a review from grade 10. Now, we also look at an ordered pair or coordinate. Both the terms are used interchangeably. And as we know in an ordered pair, it's the distance from the origin. So if we take an ordered pair and we are at this ordered pair here, 7, 3, that tells us we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over in the x direction, and 1, 2, 3 up in y. And remember, we just write the ordered pairs with the x first and then the y first. So that's just the ordered pair of coordinates. Now, we're going to start by looking at straight lines. Now, straight lines or linear equation. Now we're going to get away from saying straight lines and use the proper terminology of linear equations in grade 11. So lines are written in 2 forms. We have standard form and we have slope y-intercept form. Now, if we start and look at standard form, as we can see, the coefficients are A, B, and C. Now, these coefficients tell you nothing about the line. They don't tell you the slope, they don't tell you anything about it, they just put it in standard form. The form we use the most is the slope y-intercept form. And why do we like that? Well, because our m value is your slope. And if everyone remembers, the b value is the y-intercept. Why do we like this form? Because it's easy to graph. If we're graphing this, we can find the slope of the line and the y-intercept, and we can go straight to the graph. And I hope by this point everyone has the equation of slope, the rise over run, memorized. So there it is for you. That's the equation for the slope of a line. So let's look at this basic form. We're going to graph this line. Now, in grade 10, you often take this line and you wrote it in the form y equals mx plus b. Now that's perfectly fine to do that, but what I'm going to show you is another form of writing it, or another form of solving it. What we can do is we can do what's called the intercepts. We can find the intercepts of this line. So basically what the intercepts are the points where they cross the x and y axis. Now remember, the y-intercept, what that means is that x is equal to 0 at that point. So if we want to find the y-intercept, what we do is we take our equation, and everywhere there's an x, we replace it with a 0. And what we're going to get here is an equation that tells us that 3y is going to equal 12, so y is going to equal 4. So when x equals 0, y is going to equal 4. That is a point on our graph. Using the same technique, we can make x equal to, or we can make y equal to 0 and solve for x. So 2x plus 3, everywhere there's a y, I'm going to replace it with a 0. Take our original equation, and we're going to have 2x is equal to 12, which is going to tell us that x equals 6. So when y is equal to 0, x is going to equal 6. So what we do is now we can put those points on our coordinate system. So we go to x equals 0, y equals 4, and we put a dot. And we go to x equals 6, y equals 0, and we put a dot. And now we want to draw a straight line. Now when we're drawing lines, you want to use a ruler all the time, and I'm going to try and do this here on the computer the best I can with a straight line. So we're going to draw a straight line. Not quite straight for me, but it's a little easier to do with a ruler. And there is our graphing our equation. So fairly straightforward. Keep in mind, if we have a line, we want to make sure to indicate that the line goes on forever. So we need to just put some arrows on the end and go from there. So we're going to graph another type of line. Now this line, as you can see, is already in the form of y equals mx plus b. This is where we get very, very happy because we can just go straight to the graph. We know that the slope is -2. We know that the intercept is 4. We can just put those points on the graph. We go to the y-intercept, and remember the y-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis, and we have a slope of -2, which means we go down 2 and to the right 1, down 2 and to the right 1, and we have a line. So we draw in our line. And that one, I'm trying to be as straight as I can here. I don't have the luxury of a ruler like you would, but there's our line. So that's just graphing a line. And that should be basic review from grade 10.